Hello and welcome back to yet another video on our English channel, and I am very happy to bring back a video theme that a lot of people liked in the past. And I'm gonna talk about brand. I'm gonna tell you which brand in a few seconds. I'm gonna talk about a watch brand and the models that they have available right now, and talk about their qualities when it comes to selling them, reselling them in case you want to buy one, if you can sell it easily, if you will have trouble selling it. And of course I'm gonna talk about the vintage variations of them. I'm gonna talk about the modern ones a little. I'm not gonna go into detail too much in every model, not in every watch name that you see, because obviously I do not know everything about every model and every brand. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, that I will go into detail for most of them, and I have experience in vintage, I have experience in the modern ones, so I can pretty much sum up the market at this point for this brand at least. And today's brand is going to be Cartier. Why did I choose that brand in specific? It's quite simple, because it's one of the brands that we sell fairly good, that we sell very frequently. In the future I will also go into detail when it comes to AP, to Patek, but starting with the watches that we sell on a daily basis a lot, I want to take Cartier as an example, because they don't have too many models. This video is not gonna be too long, I believe, so let's just jump right in. And I'm gonna start with the Ronde de Cartier, and this is a model which I know from vintage pieces. We had some vintage pieces of this model in the past, and of course we needed some time to sell them. It's not a model that you sell every day, but it still has, due to the market value, and you can get them fairly cheap. And of course, if there are other watches on the market from different brands, of course, and they are all more expensive when it comes to having a massive full gold watch with a gold bracelet, the Ronde de Cartier is in general a model that you do not sell every day. It's just as simple as that, because the main focus of the brand lays in the models that I will discuss later. It's basically for men the Santos, more specifically Santos de Cartier, and it's of course the Tank, especially the Mousse de Tank, and those are the two models that we sell the best. But we also had the other ones, and we never had like real trouble selling watches for loss, losing money on watches, burning money on watches. This never happened with Cartier. We had it happen with almost every other brand, but for Cartier it was mostly profitable in the end of the day, even though sometimes you have a 10,000 euro watch, you wait 6 to 7 months and then you sell it for almost the same price you paid, then you did not do a good job in selling them. That's okay, that happens, that can happen, but in the end we never made a loss on a Cartier, at least not as far as I remember. I could be wrong, but as far as I remember we did never have this case happen. So that's a watch that you can of course buy and you can sell it again, and you're not gonna lose too much money as long as you consider the market value and you don't pay way too high for that. Because sometimes, especially the full gold models, they don't have a real market, they don't have a real, let's say, demand and supply curve where you can see, okay, like for example a brand new Batman, Batgirl or whatever, you know the exact price because you see the market, you see hundreds of watches. But for Cartier it's gonna be hard when you go to the exotic pieces. But still, if you take your time, you do your research, see the prices, how they move, if they sell, then I think every model, but even the Ronde de Cartier can be a watch that is fairly good when it comes to holding a value. I'm gonna continue with a model that is more popular. It is well known, but it's not like one of the top shelf model lines that Cartier offers right now, even though there were times where it was very popular, and it's the Pasha de Cartier. The Pasha is a very iconic watch. It's a watch that you will never see, or you will not see anything that looks even remotely similar to that one. The Pasha de Cartier is one of the most special watches that you will see out there. It comes with a cap that you can screw over the crown, so basically you can protect the crown of your watch from fall damage, of course, but you can also protect it for, and I think I know this because a client of mine told me that he got this information from Cartier, the crown protection that you screw over it, it's basically to prevent sand or other, let's say, dust or other very fine particles stop them from going into the movement. And this was and is very important in countries where you have a lot of dust, a lot of sand, and that's most probably the Arab countries and countries, let's say, in the Middle East and so on. And we saw that, especially the Pasha de Cartier, whenever we sold most of them, we did not sell them to German people. This is, I don't know exactly why this is the case, but I think it's just a watch that you need more, let's say, more courage to wear it. You don't wear it as a daily watch, you don't wear it with a suit mostly. It's a lifestyle watch and you need to represent it, I think. And that's a very strange thing, because sometimes I look at it and I think it's the most hideous thing that I've seen in the world. And sometimes I look at some of the models and I say, okay, the Pasha de Cartier could be the next big thing of the brand. So let's wait and see. From a dealer perspective, I can say that it's not a bad watch. You can buy it. You should always go with the price, see that you get a low price, but this is not a watch that you will get for only a few bucks. This is something that whoever has it loves it and most probably needs a specific amount of money to give the watch away. Otherwise, most people will just probably keep it. And we will continue with another model that is, in my opinion, one of the representations for perfect dress watches, especially when we dive into the Cartier cosmos. We will talk about the Tank, because here we have 3 variations. I think there are a lot more, but right now we have the Louis de Cartier, we have the Mousse de Cartier, we have the Tank Française and the Tank Américaine, which is basically different variations, case styles and types. Let's start with the Louis de Cartier. When you think of a Cartier Tank, that is the model that you think of from a design standpoint. It is a beautiful watch. It comes with a very slim case, mostly quartz movements, no mechanical movement. You can get it with a mechanical movement, but especially the vintage pieces, the ones that you get for around 2,500, 3,000 euros, you get them with a quartz movement, you get them with a classic Cartier dial with a Roman indices. So it's a beautiful classic piece. You can wear it with a suit, but you can wear the Cartier Tank also with almost every other outfit, depending of course on the strap that you wear. If you have an alligator strap, you might want to combine it more elegant, but you can get a different, if you get a suede or a beautiful, let's say, simplistic strap, then you will have a sporty watch. It's never gonna be a full sports watch. You cannot expect that from a Cartier Tank, but it's not gonna be a strict business attire or let's say elegant watch, dress watch only. You can wear it with almost everything. The Cartier Tank is an example of a watch that you can probably combine with everything if you want to do that. And then continuing with the Française and the Américaine, basically it's the same thing. They have thicker cases, they have bigger bezels, if you can even call them bezels. The Américaine comes with a long case. You have a very long case. If you see that, maybe we can show some pictures. It comes with a long. This is a watch, especially on the leather strap. For me, that is a classic dress watch. You do not wear it especially for other outfits, I would say. And then you have the Française, which is the wider one. It's not as long as American, but it comes with a bigger bezel, with a bigger case or thicker case, and it comes with a wide version. It's wider but not so long. I think that is pretty much the main differences of the two, and we had both and we sold them fairly good both. So the Tank, I would, even the Louis that we never sold in our history, that's not a watch that we would be shy of buying. We would buy it and I think we would sell it fairly good as well. So let's see if we can get one in the near future. If you have one, you can of course offer it, but as with everything, if it's not the highly popular Rolex models, then you're not gonna get back what you paid retail. You always have to take into consideration how the gray market behaves, because that's in the end, that's where the watch will go again if you want to sell it at some point. Just need to be careful and not buy, let's say, too uncarefully. Sometimes you just gotta put some research into whatever you want to buy, and I think then you cannot make any big mistakes, especially not with Cartier, but especially not with the Tank. And then we will continue with a model line that in my opinion is the most beautiful model line if it comes to women's watches, and it's the Cartier Panthére. And I cannot stress enough how much I love this watch on women's wrist. It's, after all, in my opinion, It's the more feminine, more elegant version of the Santos, because it has almost the same design language. If we're talking about the bezel, if we're talking about the case, it's almost the same thing, with a big difference that you have finer, you get a more elegant version of the Cartier, and that suits most women perfectly. You get it with almost every variation. You can get it in steel gold, in full gold. Of course, the steel gold version, you can get it with different types of bracelets. Some have only one or some have two, so you can get it in a lot of variations. There are plenty of vintage pieces and you get them for a good price. So in my opinion, you get them under retail, and of course, and that's very important, you're not gonna lose 50% of your money as soon as you buy them, even if you buy them retail. So in my opinion, a beautiful model, and the second most popular in my opinion when it comes to Cartier. Only model that is more popular is of course the Santos itself, and there we have two main lines right now, but I'm gonna talk about the vintage ones as well. We have the Santos de Cartier and the Cartier Dumont. The Cartier Dumont reminds me more of the old, for example, Carré or Galbé models, because it has the bezel that is clearly only a square. It's not going into the whole bracelet line like we have it on the Santos de Cartier. It comes with leather strap, or I think you can get also rubber straps for it, not from Cartier if I'm correct, but from other brands. And it works with both. I've seen it on rubber straps and it looked absolutely amazing. The thing is that the Dumont is always the model that people will not take too much time to dive into it, because most people, when they think of the Cartier Santos, they will think about a steel watch with a steel bracelet or even steel gold or full gold, but they will think about the mesh and not about a leather strap. So most people, when they see the Cartier Dumont, they avoid this model, even though I don't understand why, because we had it a few times. It was always beautiful on the wrist. They suit the wrist perfectly, and in my opinion also a watch that you can buy that keeps the value very good, but it's not the most popular one. If you want a watch that you can turn around, that you can sell immediately if you need to, then you will have to go with this Santos, Cartier de Santos, which is basically the Cartier Santos, recent model of the old heritage watches from the past that everybody loves right now. The Santos, the new one, the new references, they make a big difference if you compare them to their older versions. If you compare it with the Carré, the Galbé, or even the 100, the Santos 100, a model that a lot of people forget about, because the bezel, it's not a square, it's not completely part of the watch itself. It is as seamless, it goes seamless into the bracelet. You can see what I mean from the pictures. It seems like it's an integrated bracelet. The beautiful thing about it is that you can replace the bracelet, put a leather or rubber strap on it with no problems whatsoever. The other beautiful thing is that you have a lot of dial variations. You have a blue dial, green dial. You have, of course, also gold models. You have models with black case, with DLC coating, you have ceramic ones, you have gray dials, you have almost every variation. So no matter what colors and what style you prefer, you will find a matching watch with the Cartier Santos de Cartier line, and you get it in 3 sizes. So I think everybody will find the perfect watch for them. If you go for the smaller models, then you can also consider getting a Carré or Galbé that are fairly small for today's standard, but in my opinion still beautiful watches that you can wear with medium-sized wrist. If you have a wrist up to 19 centimeters in circumference, I think you can wear every Carré and Galbé, the big models of course. They have a diameter of 28 millimeters, but with square watches, as I say very often, with square watches you cannot go for the diameter alone. You need to consider the lug to lug, which is very big because it has a very big case. Even the small 28 millimeter Carré and Galbé models. And if you have a bigger wrist, if you have like a really big wrist, then you can consider getting a 100 or the Cartier Santos 100. There's also the XL version, which is even bigger. But for this, you need a huge wrist size. So you cannot wear it with 18, 19 centimeters. You need at least 20, 21, 22 centimeters. So you should, if you have that size, you should go for one of them or try them, because you might like them more. They are more similar to the older ones, even though they are quite chunky. But yeah, whatever it is your taste brings you to, whether it be the vintage Cartiers or all the modern ones. The Santos is always beautiful. I've never seen a Santos that's not beautiful, so you can go for every model. And the most important thing, you can get them also from the boutique and everything, and the prices, even if you resell them immediately, if you don't wear them, you don't lose too much money. You lose some money, of course. We are not on the Rolex system yet. We don't have waiting lists over several months for most models, but in the end, after all, you can always buy and sell them. You're not losing too much money, and I think that's very important when we're talking about luxury watches. And then we will continue with the last two models, the Bail Noir and the Ballon Bleu. Those two, for the Ballon Bleu, we sold some of them. We sold them with the MOP dial, with a normal one. We sold them in steel rose gold, in steel alone, and it was always hard selling them. We always sold them way under market value. So if you have one and you want to sell it, you might reconsider selling it a lot cheaper. Maybe go for a dealer, because sometimes the dealer might even pay you more than what a private client would, so you never know. But do consider that it's a watch that's very hard to sell. So if you want to buy it, that's mostly, I would say, ladies' watches. If you're thinking about buying one, then do consider if it's really the one that you want. If you really want it, then there's no downsides to it. In the end of the day, you can sell them again, but you need to be a little bit more sensitive when it comes to the price. And same goes with Bail Noir, because we have one in stock right now. It's a beautiful watch. You get a lot of value for the money you pay. I would say most people need to get these models on their radar so that they can really consider getting them, because as long as you do not know what that watch is, then you are not gonna think about or consider buying it, because you won't be safe enough in your thoughts to make the move or make steps towards buying it. So in the end of the day, those are two models that I would buy if I find them beautiful, if I want to wear them, but not with the thought of wearing it 1 or 2 years. This is something that, in my opinion, you need to buy, and you need to at least keep it for some time so it makes sense. If you want to buy one, let us know, because we always have some Cartier models on stock. So in case you're interested, you can just hit me up with a WhatsApp message or hit me up via mail. No matter, I'm available almost all of the day, so let me know if you're interested and we can find a deal together. So that's it with the video for today. I hope you liked the topic. I hope that you like the watches that I explained to you or that I described to you. In case you have open questions, feel free to comment. Otherwise, please leave us a thumbs up. And if you didn't follow our channel yet, do that please, so we can see each other again next week for the next video. Bye bye.